A little while back, one of the pro members posted a site in the server that I couldn't stop looking at. Right away, you can tell a lot of care went into it. There's animation everywhere, and plenty of it worked in ways I hadn't seen done before. I kept scrolling through, taking it in, and then I hit this one section that made me stop. The background breaks open into a Starfield. Thin streaks of light pull out from a single point in the middle and go tearing past you. That classic jump to hyperspace feeling, except tucked into a normal scrolling page. And while all that's rushing behind it, the content builds in over the top, holds for a second, then peels away so the set of copy can take its place. The streaks never stop the entire time. It's a small thing, but it really stuck with me, and it's a direction we've never taken on the channel. So I took that idea and boiled it down to its essentials. A short scroll experience, built around that Starfield, nothing extra piled on top. And really, the whole effect runs on a single number. Linus and ScrollTrigger figure out how far down the page you are, and that one value feeds everything. How far the streaks have traveled, and which words are fading in or out on top of them. Once you see it that way, layering it all together turns out to be far less work than it looks. I'll take you through the entire build in this one, from an empty markup to the finished thing, all in plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, with GSAP and ScrollTrigger doing the heavy lifting. If you would like to grab the source code for this project, along with hundreds of other micro projects and a brand new website template every month, you can check out the Pro membership via the link in the description. And if you find this kind of content useful, a like on the video and a subscribe really do help the channel grow. Alright, let's get into the code. The markup here is short, so let's move quickly. First, inside the body, I'll lay down 3 sections stacked top to bottom. An intro at the top, the Starfield in the middle where the effect lives, and an outro at the bottom. They're empty for now. Then I'll add a bit of text for the ends. The intro gets an H1 and so does the outro. These are just bookends, so the page doesn't open or close on a blank screen. Now for the Starfield section, this is where everything happens. So I'll add a canvas and give it an ID of canvas. That's the surface we'll paint all the streaks onto later. And finally, on top of the canvas, I'll drop in a div with a class of Starfield headers holding 3 H1 elements, each with its own ID. These are the lines that'll fade in and out as you scroll, layered right over the Starfield, and that's the markup done. Next, let's move over to the CSS. First up, I'll pull in our font at the top, DM Sans, which we'll use across the whole project. Then a quick reset. I'll zero out the margins and padding on everything and switch it all over to border box sizing so nothing catches us off guard later. Next, the body. I'll set our font on it so everything inherits it from the start and make the text white since we're working on a dark background throughout. Then the headings. I'll uppercase them, give them a medium weight, and pull the line height in tight. And for the size, I'll use clamp so the text scales fluidly with the screen instead of jumping at breakpoints. Now the sections, each one is positioned relatively full width and a full viewport tall. I'll lay them out as a centered flex so anything inside sits dead center. Give them our dark background and hide the overflow so nothing ever spills out as things animate. Next, the canvas inside the Starfield. I'll pin it to the center of the section, but pull it in slightly from the edges so it doesn't sit flush against them. Then a subtle border and some rounded corners, which gives it that clean, card-like frame the whole effect sits inside. Then the headers wrapper. I'll position it absolutely and let it fill the section completely so it becomes the layer that sits right over the canvas. And the headers themselves. Each H1 is pinned to the dead center of that layer and capped at a comfortable width with the text centered so every line stacks in the exact same spot and reads cleanly. Finally, a small responsive tweak. On narrower screens, I'll let the headers widen a little so the text has more room to breathe and doesn't feel cramped on mobile. And that's the styling done. Everything's positioned and primed. Next, let's jump into the JavaScript and bring it all to life. First of all, I'll register our plugins with GSAP, ScrollTrigger, which lets us tie animation to the scroll position, and split text, which we'll use later to break the headers into individual words. Next, the smooth scroll setup. I'll create a new Linus instance, then tell ScrollTrigger to update every time Linus scrolls, so the two always agree on where we are on the page. Then I'll hand Linus over to GSAP's own ticker so they run on the same clock, and turn off lag smoothing so nothing stutters. This is my standard Linus and GSAP setup, and it gives us that smooth scrolling for free. Next, our settings object. This is the control panel for the entire Starfield, and I'm pulling every value that matters up into one place so we can tune the whole look from here without digging through the code code later. There's the number of stars, the palette of colors and how often each one shows up, the size of the dark hole in the center, how far the streaks reach, their length and width, and a handful of values that shape the motion and the glow. Don't worry about the exact numbers right now. We'll feel out what each one does once things are on screen. The idea is just to keep everything adjustable from a single spot. Then I'll grab our canvas from the DOM and pull its 2D context of it. That context is basically the paintbrush. Every line we draw through it. Next, a few variables we'll need throughout: the width and height of the canvas, the coordinates of its center, how far a streak can travel, and the pixel ratio for sharpness on high-density screens. I'll also set up an array to hold all our stars and a scroll progress value starting at 0. That progress is the single number that's going to drive the whole effect later. Now a small helper. This one takes a hex color and converts it into its red, green and blue values. The reason we need this is that when we draw on a canvas, we can't just hand it a hex string with opacity. We need the raw color channels so we can fade each streak in and out smoothly. So this helper just does that conversion for us. Then, picking a color, instead of choosing evenly from the palette, I want some colors to show up more than others, mostly cyans and blues, with the pinks and purples sprinkled in as accents. So this function rolls a random number and walks through the palette using those weights and lands on a color based on how likely it should be. That's what gives the Starfield its balance, rather than an even random spread. Next, the important one, creating the stars. I'll loop through and build every star one at a time. For each, I pick a random angle around a full circle, and from that angle, I work out a direction, an X and a Y, which is the line that star will travel along, straight out from the center. Then I give it a random offset, which staggers when it leaves the middle, so they don't all fire at once, along with a random length, width, and a color from our weighted picker. All of that gets stored in the stars array, so later we're just reading these values back, rather than recalculating them every frame. And a tiny helper to finish, one that returns a random number between a min and a max, which we've already been leaning on a few times up above. Now let's size the canvas. First, I'll work out the pixel ratio, capped at 2, so the Starfield stays sharp on high density screens without us drawing more than we need to. Then I'll measure the canvas box and set its internal resolution to that size times the ratio, so what we draw lines up crisply with what's on screen. After that, I'll store the center point and work out the maximum distance a streak can travel, which is the length from the center out to the corner, pushed a little past the edge so the streaks always fill right into the corners. Next, the heart of the whole thing, the draw function. This is what paints every frame, and it runs off that single scroll progress value. First, I'll clear the canvas, then work out our speed. I take the resting fill, which is how full the field looks before you even scroll, and push it forward using the scroll progress. Then bend that through the acceleration value so the streaks start slow and speed up rather than moving at a flat rate. Then I loop over every star and figure out where it is. Each one has a travel value that runs from 0 at the center out to 1 at the edge, then wraps back around, which is what keeps the field looping endlessly. From that, I work out the head of the streak, how far along its line it currently is, and the tail behind it, which stretches longer the further out the star gets. That's what turns a dot into a streak of light, and why they look short near the center and long out at the edges. Next, the fade. Any streak still close to the center gets dimmed down softly using the glow values, so nothing pops in harshly right at the middle. That's what gives us that soft, dark core the streaks emerge out of. Then I build a gradient down the length of the streak, transparent at the tail, solid at the head, so each one fades off cleanly behind itself, rather than being a hard line. I set the color, make the line a little thicker as it travels outward, and draw it. Do that for every star, every frame, and you've got the Starfield. Then I'll actually kick it off. I create the stars, size the canvas, and draw one frame, so it's already sitting there before you even scroll. And I'll listen for resize, redrawing everything if the window changes, so it always stays centered and sharp. Now, onto the headers. First, I'll grab all 3 of them from the DOM. Then I'll run split text over each one, breaking them into words, and pull out those word elements. So now every single word is its own piece we can animate on its own. Next, the starting state. I'll set the first header's words to fully visible, and the other 2 to invisible, since only the first should be showing when you arrive, and I'll shrink those 2 down slightly so they've got room to scale up into place when their turn comes. Now the timing, and this is the part that keeps it all even. I'll count the words in each header and add them up into a total number of steps, remembering that the middle header both fades in and out, so it counts twice. From that total, I work out how much of the scroll a single word should take. Doing it this way means every word gets the exact same slice of scroll, no matter how many words are in each line, so nothing ever feels rushed or dragged. Then a couple of timing extras, a reading pause, a small gap I'll hold before a header starts fading out, so you actually get a beat to read it, and a little hold for the very start and end, so the first header sits for a moment before anything moves, and the last one settles before the section lets go. Next, I'll create our timeline and two helper functions to drive it. The first fades a header's words in, one after another, while the header itself scales up to full size. The second does the reverse, fading the words out one by one, while the header keeps gently zooming, and it's tuned so the zoom carries straight through the reading pause without ever stalling. Pulling these into functions means I write the logic once and just call it for each header. Then I sequence the whole thing, a brief hold, then the first header fades out, the second fades in and back out, the third fades in, and one last hold at the end. 4 headers worth of moves, chained back to back into one continuous handoff. And finally, the piece that ties it all together, the scroll trigger. I'll pin the Starfield section in place, run it over 5 screen heights of scroll, and scrub it so it's driven directly by how far you've scrolled rather than playing on its own. I hand it our timeline for the headers, and then, on every update, I take the scroll progress and feed it straight into the Starfield draw, so that one number moves the words and the streaks together perfectly in sync from the first pixel of scroll to the last. And that's the entire build. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.